Good to go.
Okay, we are ready. Thank you much. I will call this Wednesday, April 20th, 2022, Lawrence County Prison Board meeting to order. And I will ask for any visitor comments. We are being live streamed. If there are comments, for those of you that are viewing via live stream, you could email those comments to lspielvogel@lawrencecountypa.gov, and they will be noted and put into the record. Thank you. We will move to the approval of the minutes and give notice that there was an executive session held on March 30th to discuss personnel issues. And we do have the minutes from the February 16th, 2022 meeting. If you're reviewing, I will take a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion for second.
Motion by Sheriff Calero, second by DA. Any further comment, questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. We will now have a review of the population report as well as a warden update.
We currently have
Okay.
currently have 95 inmates. We've got 13 housed out at other facilities due to separations and court purposes. 14 females. Actually, that went down 2 more today, so we're down to 12 females. That's about it for the population report.
Okay. I noticed that we do have available 207 beds, which will be noted.
I'm working on it, Commissioner.
On your report, right. Okay. So we'll take a motion to accept the population report.
I'll
go ahead.
move, but I have a real quick question, and it's
Sure.
my bad hearing. For the 13, what were the 2 reasons that they are housed elsewhere, Warden?
Separations or court purposes.
Court.
If they have
That's the word that I couldn't
Okay.
hear. That's not your fault. That's my fault. So thank you. And I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same sign. That motion carries. And now, Warden, an update from you on what's happening at the jail.
Well, myself and Ms. King conducted captain interviews. We've completed 8 out of 9. I have 1 more scheduled by telephone tomorrow because that individual's out on medical. I'll get those completed. I'll submit my recommendation to the board for the review and approval. Get that to you as soon as possible. We were up to full complement until over the weekend. I lost 2 officers. One is going to a federal institution and the other one.
As a corrections officer.
That was-
I read your mind.
To work.
Let's have a clarification.
So
Okay.
I'm down 2 full-time right now. We continue to conduct interviews. We'll have interviews scheduled for the rest of the week. We have Corrections Employees Week coming up May 1st through the 7th. We have some activities planned for over at the jail. Inmate tablets, I just talked to GTL this morning on the phone. We have been assigned a project manager. And on next Wednesday, we're going to have a kickoff meeting. Estimated time on these tablets is 60 to 90 days. I had a conversation with her this morning. The sergeants that we have assigned over there are working out very well. 6 to 2, you have Sergeant Glenn Jones. 2 to 10, you have Sergeant Greg Rosati. And on 10 to 6, you have Sergeant Timothy Pitzer. They've really stepped up, and I can't say enough about them. So we're very much appreciative of it.
I think that, normally mentioning individuals' names is something that we don't do, but in this instance, because it is something that is so beneficial to the operations, I'm glad that you have done that because they have stepped up. I know in the conversations that we have had, sergeants, that position was something that you had asked for, and working with the union to allow that these gentlemen certainly have stepped up. So thank you for that and acknowledging them by name. Thank you.
I'm sorry, but I had to do it.
I no, don't be sorry about it because it's something good. Instead of all the negativity, it's a good thing to hear that positivity happening.
Since we do have so many beds over there right now, I'm still currently working with Washington County. They have their prison board scheduled for today. to approve or deny us housing Washington County inmates. I should hear back something this afternoon. I also continue to work with Lebanon County to house some of their females. I haven't got any definite back on them yet either. But I'll continue and I'll keep you all apprised of what how we move along on that. We're working on grants to possibly purchase some new security equipment, body scanner, radios, and possibly some new cameras over there to eliminate the contraband that's coming into the institution. That body scanner would be very, very beneficial. And I've got like 3 staff members over there right now working on grants to see what we can come up with.
And I know I'll put you on the spot to elaborate on that, but in conversations that we have had, the warden has had several of the employees, administrative staff attend a grant writing seminar, and where they have been given information on different grants that are available. And that has certainly opened up a lot of areas where monies are available, and hopefully those body scanners can be purchased through a grant. So I know you don't give yourself enough credit, but I'll do it for you.
The body scanners can also be utilized by different police departments, adult
You're
probation.
talking the X-ray scanners
Yes, actually body scanners that you see in the
at
airports.
the airports,
So
yes.
quite costly, and that's why we're looking at some type of grant to assist in purchasing one of those. CompuGig, I canceled the contract for May of 2022. I'm no longer going to use CompuGig. We were paying them, I'm not going to give them an amount of money, but we were paying them, and I really don't need them. I've got Eric from IT here, and we utilize him instead of paying, all right, I'll say $1,200 a month. So we will save that money. Keefe contract, they just sent that to me by email yesterday for the new proposal. It expires the current one expires in July or August of this year. So I'm reviewing that right now, and I'll get with the board as soon as I have the ability to do that.
And to elaborate, Keefe is the contracted company that handles the commissary.
You know,
And having them in the corrections facility, there's a certain percentage that is given back to the county, to the corrections for use within that system. So just as a clarification, why it's good to review contracts, and thank you again for doing that.
They handle the commissary, and they also handle the vending machines that we have over there, which also generates revenue. So I'm also looking at, for all new commitments, issuing a basic issue upon their commitment, which means basically taking all their clothing items and their shoes. I'm going to issue, along with their uniform, we'll have 2 pairs of underwear, 2 t-shirts, 2 pairs of socks, and Crocs. You've got some county jails out there doing that right now. That's going to thus eliminate contraband coming in shoes. I mean, it's very easy to hide that contraband in your shoes and things like that. So we will eliminate that once I go to the basic issue for commitments. Staff and I revised the inmate handbook over there. It's under final review right now. And we'll get that out to the inmates and staff, so everybody's on the same page.
I got a question on that.
Mhm.
And this might be a question for Jason. Who is responsible for approving that handbook, those policies? Is that this board, or is administration able to do that?
That's something I have to look into a little bit more.
Okay.
Commissioner, in the past, it's just been the administration.
Yeah, I figured, but
Definitely.
yeah,
For your review, and
I know we had some issues with
Right.
policies and procedures there in the past, not under the current administration, but under the former. And I just want to know the legal mechanism, whether it's us or it's you. I just want to know what the law says.
I'll do the final revision, and I'll send it out to all the prison board.
Great. Thanks.
That's the inmate handbook.
Yes. That's all I have, Commissioner.
Well, that's enough. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to look into the matters that you have. And also sending the team to the grant writing seminar that will certainly open up a lot of avenues for us for monies. And the inmates, we're hoping that contracts can be approved with a final approval with the commissioners to move forward with housing inmates from their facilities. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, on that topic, if I may. At one time, and this goes back a while, I believe one of the commissioners from Elk County had indicated to me that there were times when they were really pressed for space. Would you be able to reach out to the warden up in Elk County? Just to
Yes.
see if that's still,
Commissioner, I can reach out to all the counties and we can see what we can definitely do. Because we do have beds over there.
right,
For some reason, we're one of the few counties that actually have bed space out there. As of, Washington County, they're packed right now. So,
well, it's just one of seven, by all means, however many you want to reach out to, but for some reason Elk County stuck in my mind. But that's maybe a year or two ago. Maybe their situation has changed.
I'll check with them and I'll let you know, Commissioner.
Very good. Any other comments on the warden's report? That's just an update. I don't believe it's something that we would need to vote on to accept. It's just comments that are being made. So we will move to the approval of the bills. And all eyes on our controller.
We're all good, I'll motion to approve the bills?
Okay,
Second.
motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, that same sign. Motion carries. All right. Moving on to new business. As noted on the agenda, we're entertaining a motion to vote to recommend that the commissioners who would have the vote on that settlement agreement for Brian Covert and Jason Hilton. I would ask our solicitor, Jason Adore, to offer comments on that before we vote on it.
Because this is an opportunity for the prison board to just give a recommendation to the commissioners who actually are in the position to take final action regarding all settlements and releases regarding current and former employees. But the commissioners deem it fit to actually get the opinion of the prison board, since this is regarding the warden and deputy warden. These settlement agreements were negotiated between myself and the attorney for Brian Covert and Jason Hilton, Colleen Ramage. We went back and forth quite a few times. I kept hopefully you believe that I kept you updated and everyone up to speed. Passed along the final agreement, asked for any comments. If there are any comments or questions now, I'm happy to hear them. The sole purpose of this agreement is to get both parties to their 20-year date. And in order to get them to that 20-year date, we're essentially using days that they've already accumulated through pay time off leave. So that's pretty much what we're doing here.
Will either Hilton or Covert run out of days before they hit their 20th?
No.
Are you recommending that this board recommend to the three of us that we proceed?
I am. I think it's a fair resolution for both parties. It provides a level of certainty for the county, which is always good anytime you're dealing with employee separation. And it also provides a level of fairness to employees that have obviously been longstanding employees. They're going to be 20-year employees there. So I am recommending it.
Any other questions or concerns? Okay, then I will entertain a motion to vote to recommend that the commissioners accept the settlement agreements of Brian Covert and Jason Hilton.
So moved.
Second. Further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries. Okay. That moves us to our second item under new business. And it's a series of actions that would take place through the salary board, which would consist of creating the position of superintendent of the Lawrence County Corrections, recommending a salary of the superintendent of Lawrence County Corrections, abolishing the acting warden position, and abolishing the deputy warden position.
Can we abolish the deputy warden position as long as Hilton's still on the rolls?
That was a question
No, you
that
can't.
we can't? No. Okay, so that would have to be
Scratch
from,
that.
after realizing that, could we motion forward with it to present to salary board, and then the salary board, they will mix that
Well, the
part of
prison
it?
board can still make the recommendation, so the recommendation's on the
It
table.
could stay the
and then
same,
when it-
okay, and
when
then
there actually
salary
is a
board
salary
deal with
board.
it.
Could prison board pass, or could salary board pass a conditional resolution whereby the deputy warden stays on the books until such time as the position is vacant, at which time the position is vacant, the position be abolished?
I don't see any reason why you couldn't do something like that. You're basically putting an end date on the position.
Do we know if the current acting warden feels that there is a need for a deputy warden at the jail? I'm putting you on the spot, but I think it's a very important question to ask.
Commissioner, I don't believe there's a need for a deputy warden position there at the jail.
That being said, and I appreciate your answer, that being said, what then takes place, let's say if you're on vacation or if you're off sick, hopefully not, if you're off sick, who then takes over the responsibilities in your absence? In the past, it would have been the deputy warden. Who then would do that? The most senior captain?
Well, I would probably recommend that we have an administrative captain. I will have 5 captains over there, and I believe that one of the captains will be placed in an administrative, in hopes of that he would be placed in an administrative captain. And if I would go on vacation, that individual would take charge of the jail and run it.
Then let me pose a question to the solicitor based upon that concept. Would that require salary board to designate an administrative captain, or can that be done internally?
That can be done internally unless you want the administrative captain position to hold a salary greater than what's already presented to the captains.
I see.
So if you want to give them a $5,000 stipend for having an administrative role, then you would create that administrative captain position.
I have a question, and other contracts that I've seen, and I can't remember whether or not it was for Lawrence County, New Wilmington, or other places. There have been instances, I think it was New Wilmington actually, when they negotiated their police agreement, is the higher salary was incurred only when the police chief was off and the sergeant or the officer in charge was acting in the role of police chief. So only when in those instances was there an increase in the amount they were getting paid. That might be something to consider as well. Because if the guy's just performing duties as captain until such time as the warden decides to go to Aruba, to me, I think they should only be getting paid for services commensurate with the duties.
Assuming the duties remain the same.
Assuming duties remain the same.
Right. And again, that I would say is, if it comes to a salary board meeting, that would come up at that point in time, but otherwise internally, it can be, once the superintendent position is filled, that would be something that he could work administratively with his team for. Okay. So is it the consensus to move forward that we move with the recommendation that's listed on the agenda, and then at salary board, the details ironed out?
What's the recommended salary?
I feel comfortable saying 85,000, especially with the abolishing of the deputy warden position. I had, if it's okay that I mentioned, I had Controller Prestapine run the numbers, and he did it with the cost of the warden and deputy warden at their salaries, and benefits and the extras that go with it. And the total of the two of them is $197,000. And then I had him run the numbers for the warden position at $85,000 and all the benefits and additions that come with that. And I believe it was an $84,000 difference. It was less with the $85,000 salary.
So
And
it's savings,
It's savings.
85 a year.
85 a year, every year.
That's with benefits already?
Everything, FICA,
It couldn't be it, because we're not abolishing two positions, we're really abolishing one position, because he'll be the war. You know, I mean, right now, we've got two people off on
Yes.
administrative.
yes.
Eventually, the deputy position goes away, so really,
Right.
so
So that in and of itself was 91,000.
yeah, yep,
That was, so it's actually more savings. No,
91.
Yeah, right. So,
yeah.
yeah, so that is.
Minus warden right now is getting paid, what, 70?
65 or something like that.
Yeah, we thought we did.
I didn't bring the paper with me.
I thought he was in the 70s at
No, it
this
was
point.
60. I think the warden was 70 and he was.
I'm saying the warden
Yes,
is
the
70,
warden
so I'm saying it'd be a
himself, not
$15,000 increase.
Oh, the warden, I thought you
What?
meant the deputy warden.
Yeah,
The
deputies.
warden's like 72 or something like
So yeah, you're looking at $15,000 more in terms of salary for the warden position. And then if we were to do something for a shift captain, that, you know, if,
Sure.
you know, you gotta call it $5,000, it's ultimately roughly what it comes out to. So you're looking at, $20,000 and you're looking at about $70,000 in savings.
And that 85 is based upon basically what he was making as a captain.
Again, we at salary board creating the position bumped his salary up, I believe, to 65, not realizing that he was we actually,
Right, you penalized him.
We
Not that you
penalized.
guys did that, but I mean,
I
he
know.
was losing.
And that's just that, not realizing the amount of overtime that they were incurring as captains being there, that there was a certain loss of revenue for our acting warden. And I have to commend him for his staying power, for continuing to do what he's doing to advance the cause at Lawrence County Corrections. We've had numerous meetings together where there's always, I can tout the work that you've done thus far with staff, with administration, moving forward, looking into different things, the different opportunities that are there, working well with the union itself. I just think that hopefully we can move forward in a more beneficial monetary avenue for you. But yeah, we thought we were doing him a favor by throwing that salary in there, and again, it was, no,
What does Mercer pay?
I have no clue. I have no clue.
Okay.
But anywho, that was just something that I had thrown out for comparison purposes, just to see, there's definitely the savings that would be there.
So you're asking for a recommendation from the prison
From the
board
prison board
to the commissioner.
to the commission, to salary board,
Salary.
to participate and to make those following moves, knowing that right now we can't abolish the deputy warden position without the verbiage that Commissioner Boyd recommended that we have, because we have to continue to pay that position. But that could be the salary board action, as well as we've discussed the 85,000, and that, again, a salary board determination.
Is our recommendation also contemplating that would be retroactive to when he actually started the warden position?
I would be in favor of that as a member of salary board, yeah.
But is that part of our recommendation from the prison board? Is that what, are you asking?
Should we add that? I didn't have it listed here, but I certainly know that would be something that would be brought up and considered at salary board. If you feel the need to clarify and add it, I don't have a problem with that, but
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna craft if the prison board is going to be crafting a recommendation, then we probably should craft the recommendation that we would like at least the commissioners and the salary board to consider. So yeah, we probably should include.
so maybe as number 2, recommend salary of the superintendent of Lawrence County Corrections be retroactive,
To when he began.
assuming those duties.
I'll say I'm fine with the 85,000 pending I do want to see what Mercer, and what the other fifth classes pay their wardens, just out of my curiosity. I will say my general policy on salary board when it comes to retro activities, I vote no on anything related to retro because I think you run into issues when you do that. And so I'm all in favor of you getting the 85,000 pending looking what other counties are doing. I would not be in favor of the retro as a member of salary board, but I'm one vote and there's four.
Right. But to move forward from here, we'll take the vote,
But for our purposes, we're
for
just.
our purposes here. at
Yeah, I know, but I'm going to vote no
Yes.
on that if the retro is
Yeah.
incorporated in that. And I don't want you to take that as I'm not in favor of you getting the, I just,
Right, right. It certainly bodes, I mean, there's more action to be taken at salary board. So,
I have a question
Sure.
probably for the controller. If the salary board decides to accept the recommendation of the prison board and implement a salary of 85,000, either retroactive or not retroactive, does that make that position the highest paid department head in the county structure?
I believe so.
Larry Keith.
Is he higher than 85?
Larry's at 91 right now.
Thank you.
so I will take a motion that prison board recommend to salary board to create the position of superintendent of Lawrence County Corrections. Recommend a salary will include 85,000. Retroactive to the start date of assuming the position of acting warden. Superintendent of Lawrence County Corrections, abolish the acting warden position. Abolish the deputy warden position when no longer needed,
When the position becomes vacant.
when position becomes vacant. I will take a motion.
So moved.
Second?
And like I said, I'm going to vote no
Further
on,
right.
I'm going to vote no on this, not because I disagree with what's being done. I just have a problem with retroactivity across the board.
Sure. Further discussion, comments? Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Or no,
Opposed?
no. I get into the role, we had a meeting that lasted for like an hour today. I get in the habit of just
I know,
nodding.
right. Okay. Well, noted the no vote. Motion carries. And then, third on the agenda under new business is to appoint Michael Mullmeister to the position of Superintendent of Lawrence County Corrections contingent upon salary board action.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Hearing no discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries. Okay. Anything else, new business? Visitor comments?
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
What happens to the warden position that exists? If you're creating the superintendent's.
That position would, again, salary board would be
They
removed.
have to remove,
Same as the deputy board position once that is taken.
you're not just gonna make a title change, you're gonna create a position and that one would stay open unless it didn't exist anymore, correct? Okay. The other question I have is, being that the settlement agreement's been discussed in public, is there a copy available?
I would defer to our solicitor.
Yes.
Thank you. And I will adjourn the meeting, and I know that there is a need for,
Executive
to
session.
move for executive session.
For what?
Second, for
For
personnel.
Yeah.
personnel?
Personnel matter.
I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Did
Opposed?
we adjourn and then do exec?
Adjourn, and then we'll do the executive session.
So was the
I'll call for
motion to adjourn or was the motion to go into exec session?
Well, I'll motion to adjourn, but I wanted to include that we do have a need for executive session.
Yeah, I just
So I don't
wanted to-
know that we actually need the motion now because we
Yeah,
changed.
you adjourned and
I'll
then,
adjourn the
yeah.
meeting
and just say we're going to
and
executive.
move to executive session. Okay, very good.
We have
Thank you,
to vote
everybody.
on the motion for executive session. There's a motion on the floor.
To go into executive session.
You don't have to move for executive session. If a board member asks for executive session, you just have it after.
But we do have to vote on adjournment, right?
You do have to vote on adjournment.
But
I have
now-
a motion and a second.
Doesn't matter.
Only anybody to call.
All in
Yeah.
favor signify by saying aye.
We're voting to adjourn?
To adjourn. Opposed, the same sign. Motion carries, we're adjourned. But we will stay for executive session. Thank you.
Robert's rules, you go through the agenda and there's nothing else left, you can just adjourn without a vote.
Action.
Or at least show.
They voted